And the art of paying for it. Should taxpayers draw a line on cultural spending? A conservative watchdog group wants to put the bite on Rhode Island's Council for the Arts, insisting it's a luxury we can't afford right now.
Though council supporters say stop painting with such a broad brush and get your facts straight. Political reporter Bill Rapley has more. Bill?
Allison Jean, you'll remember earlier this week the Center for Freedom and Prosperity put out a report saying Rhode Island spends money unnecessarily, and one group it targeted is that Council on the Arts. Arts and culture, it's an addition to any society.
What's more important, spending for worthy industries like the arts, or creating jobs and boosting our economy?
Mike Stenhouse from the Center for Freedom and Prosperity put out a report saying the state spends more than $220 million that it shouldn't, including nearly $3 million for the State Council on the Arts. That council sponsors art shows in the state administration and numerous other programs and film programs, but nobody from the council would speak to us about the criticism, just sending a statement saying, quote, the taxpayers of Rhode Island agree they get more than their money's worth from this investment. The council also objected to some of the projects that the cost-cutting report criticized, saying that the council did not fund the specific films or art endeavors, but it did admit to funding the organizations.
If you give general funding, you are funding the projects. They're saying we didn't give a specific money to that for that project, but we paid for it one way or another.
The report calls for shutting down the Commerce Corporation, too, and also selling the convention center.
Other smaller and larger items in that report are important to a few people, to a few legislators, to a few groups of people. But what they're not is important to all Rhode Islanders. We, in these times when we have the worst economy, one of the worst economies, the worst unemployment rate, we've got to really prioritize our spending.
Now, the arts piece is just a small part of the report's suggested cuts, and the center also wants the state to create 3 new offices. One, an inspector general to catch waste. Second, a repealer. This is an office they have in Kansas, and it would get rid of unneeded regulations and repeal old laws. And thirdly, a council of business people to advise the government on efficiency. We will see if the General Assembly listens to those suggestions. I'm Bill Rapley, NBC 10 News in the newsroom.